Hello, and welcome back to Educator.com's Introduction to PHP course. In today's lesson, we're going to be expanding material from last lesson where we learned how to input data to a script. And today, we're going to learn how to access that data from a PHP script. Specifically, we're going to be learning about what's known as the $_get array, which is how you access input that was passed to a script via the get method. We're going to talk about how we can use input controls to submit information to PHP in the form of an array, and we're also going to talk about how to output array values within strings using variable interpolation. So what is the get array, as it's called? The $_get array is an associative array that's created by PHP every time a PHP page is requested by the get method. And what it does is it goes out and it extracts any name value pairs that were appended as part of the query string of the URL, and it puts them into this array. Basically what it does is it takes, for each name value pair that's appended to the URL, it creates a key, and the key is it sets the key equal to the name of each name value pair, and it sets the value associated with that key equal to the value of the name value pair. So for example, if we have a text field and we have it set at the name first name, when you submit that a form containing that text field, whatever value is assigned to that text field is going to be associated with first name. So it's going to be first name equals Matthew as part of the query string. And what's going to happen is PHP is going to go and create this get array that's always available in your PHP files. And it's going to create a key called first name, and it's going to associate with that key the value that you submitted. So essentially what it's going to be doing, if you remember from our lesson on arrays, so if we submitted in the text field, if we typed the text value, essentially what PHP is going to do is create a key in named first name in the get array and assign it the value. So let's take a look at a script or a basic HTML file that shows how some of this works. What we've done is we've created a basic HTML form that has one text field in it, kind of like we just talked about. And what it allows you to do is submit your name. And actually, before we do that, if we look at the HTML code, it's a form that uses the get method because that's what we've been using. And the action, if you'll notice, is something different from what we talked about in the last lesson. It's actually a separate file. In this case, it's a PHP file. And now we're going to learn how to access that information. So this PHP file, processNameForm.php, is going to be able to use that information that we provide in the text field. So if we go ahead and I submit my name, it's going to go to processNameForm.php, and as you can see, it appended the name value pair person equals Matthew to the URL. And what I've done is actually just done a print R, use the print R function to output what the get associative array looks like. And as you can see, the get array contains one key and one value, and the key is person, and the value is Matthew. And if we actually go back and look at our HTML, we can see that on the input field, or the input tag, for our text field, the name is person. And so person directly corresponds with the person that's the person key in the get array. So let's go look at the code that processes the name. It's called processNameForm.php, and basically we have some PHP code here at the beginning that outputs what we just showed you. It just outputs the contents of the get array. So let's go ahead and delete that and do something a little more useful. I've commented out a section of code here that's going to that's going to output a thank you message, and it's going to quote the person's name that was submitted on the form. So if I get rid of these comment tags, if we go back to our page, let's try a different name and click submit. Now what we've done is output a message that says thank you with the name submitted, John Smith, for entering your name. You have now accessed PHP data for the first time. The sky is the limit. And create a little link to return to the form. Now if we go back and look at the code here, all it simply did was it has a couple of echo statements that echo some HTML code, and then one echo statement that references the get array, and because the name of the text field which we submitted with the form was called person, we denote the person key as the get array, and what that's going to do is go to the get array, get the value associated with the person key, which in our case I think was Joe Smith, and then it's going to output it. So it's basically going to add it to the output string. And so that's basically an introduction into how get works with simple name value pairs.